Your financial needs aren't independent of each other, so your financial advisors shouldn't be either. At Mercantile Bank, our experienced United Wealth professionals are united to serve you and your complete financial planning and wealth management needs. Are you just starting your investment journey or need to roll over a retirement plan? Do you need to plan for a loved one with special needs or for your own life after work? Maybe your business needs a succession plan or you want to enhance your employee benefit programs. Whatever steps you need to take, our United Wealth experts are ready to take them with you. Together, we are united.
Hi, this is Ron Kincher from Muddy River News. Welcome to the Business Spotlight, brought to you by Mercantile Bank. We have Kirsten Protzman with Ray Design with us today. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so Ray Design, what are you designing?
I'm designing brands, brand identities, brand strategies, and then once we do that part, all of the supporting things that come after.
Okay, here's a really weird question. Can you define what brand is? So I'm starting a business. What would my brand be? Your
brand, the thing people call it the most is your logo.
Okay.
But usually with your logo, there's a icon and supporting graphics. So your brand basically encompasses all of that, including like your colors and your fonts.
Okay, so you're starting all of that from scratch generally. And you offer something called an identity innovation type scenario or strategy, right?
Yes, the identity innovator, that is my full deal brand strategy, brand identity project. I like to do strategy-led branding because when we do it that way, usually, almost always in my experience, the brand really resonates and connects with my customer more and their customers. I normally work with product-based brands, so we're really looking at like how they're showing up, how they're selling their products, and giving them the tools to really utilize their brand to the fullest.
Okay, so when is the best time, or if you're starting a new business, when should you reach out to someone like you or develop your own plan for branding?
I think new business owners should definitely consider brand strategy, specifically who their audience is or the people they're selling to.
But what time in the decision-making process?
So for what I do, I would want someone to have been in business for a few years at least, to like have really kind of figured out what they're doing, who they're working with, what they're even selling. And usually by the time they're ready to work with me, they're just kind of not really knowing what to do next, or something kind of feels off in their business, whether it's the way their brand looks, because they're probably working with like a DIY brand or something, like a lot of us have done that. But yeah, usually they're ready for some sort of change and want guidance.
That's surprising. I would have thought if I know I'm going to sell Ron Kincher XYZs, I would want to develop my brand prior to selling XYZs. But you're saying get involved in your business for a while before developing a specific.
I mean, you can develop a strategy first, but a lot of businesses evolve and change as they really figure out like who they are and what they're doing and who they're really there for. So we can do a strategy first, but if you don't really have that experience or that knowledge of your business, it's really hard to create something that's truly going to like stick and last for you.
Okay, so we start this identity innovation type thing that you guys do, What is, I'm assuming there's a meeting first, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So what are the type of questions you're asking that business owner?
I call it a discovery call or a discovery meeting, and we get on and I'm just asking them about their business, where they're at, just to kind of gauge how they're feeling about their brand and like what kind of work they're willing to do to move forward. Because brand strategy is a lot of work. I ask a lot of questions. We have long meetings, so they really need to be at a place where they're ready to like make that change and then commit to the work that they have to do, because I have to get the information from them. But okay, back to the discovery call. I'm just asking clarifying questions to see if what I do and what they're wanting is really the right fit, because the identity innovator isn't for everybody. Not everyone's ready for a huge project like that, and I want to make sure when I'm working with them that they're really ready for it and ready to commit and that they know what it is.
So how enlightening is that for the business owner? I mean, I would assume if I've been in business for like a couple of years and then you come in and start asking me questions, I would assume like majority of those questions, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of what goes on?
Yeah, it is. People are kind of mind blown sometimes. And a lot of times they haven't necessarily asked themselves these questions, but they still know what the answer is. Because as business, like if you're a business owner, you know a lot of what you do is like up in your head, and brand strategy is kind of like getting it out on paper because you're taking those next steps and you're ready to keep moving forward. And like having it all out on paper, you can hand it over to someone else to use, whether it's to build graphics for you or to market for your business or to write your website copy. Brand strategy really influences everything else in your business.
So do you do the design and do you do the writing? So you're cradle to grave as far as what that customer may need to develop that brand?
Yeah, I do everything from the brand strategy, the brand identity design. I can do copywriting. I do all of my own copywriting, but depending on the client, I might recommend that they hire someone else who's more of an expert in writing for them.
So how did you get started in all this? Was this something you wanted to do when you were little? I guess brand strategy you didn't want to do in your kindergarten or anything, but how did your life grow into this type of business?
A lot of different things. I tried a lot of different things. Actually, when I was a kid, I did want to be a writer, and now I'm moving closer to being a writer than I ever have been. But I first got into it by freelancing. I went to John Wood and got a degree in graphic design. And just kind of went into the market from there. I worked at a place in Quincy in their IT department on their website. I've worked at a newspaper in Keokuk in their composing department doing like really fast-paced ads and that kind of design. And then I kind of just, I got fired because, true story, it's on my website too. I'm open about it. But I was fired because they like sold out and like a new company came in, and I was just... You were
let go, basically.
I was
you
a newbie,
fired.
I was let go, fired. Same thing.
Same thing. Yes. Well,
but then I started bartending and really pushing my freelance business to like figure out what I want to do. I started with a lot of whatever the hell people would hire me for, and then I did wedding invitation designs, got into the whole t-shirt thing, not really a fan of those kinds of projects, and then I stumbled upon this course on Facebook. It was an ad for brand strategy, basically. I binged it, then watched it again, and then did my first project.
So prior to that, you hadn't thought about doing brand strategy until you found that Facebook course?
Yeah, so I had been doing quite a few logos and logo design, and brand strategy for me really just helped organize the process and how to do it, and how to give people like a more impactful brand than just a logo that they're like, hey, design it this way for me, but then they'll come back to me 6 months to a year later not liking it, want something new, and brand strategy kind of gets rid of that.
I would think a lot of your discussion is about first impression, isn't it? I mean, because if I go on a website and don't like what I see on the front page, or if I don't like your logo, am I wrong?
Brand strategy, it's so hard to like describe it without showing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it affects everything, and it really is guiding that first impression to your people, like the people you're selling to, your audience, your buyers, whatever it is you do. You want them to want to be there. And what I really focus on is figuring out how to take the business and the business owner and what they want to do, and the people they're selling to and what they want and need and expect, and kind of mesh it together and make it meet in the middle so the buyers understand and the business owner is still like doing what they want to do.
How difficult is it though if let's say I am selling XYZ and Bob Goff is selling XYZ, we have different personalities.
Yeah.
We're selling the exact same thing, but would you recommend that our brands would be different because we're two different people? Is that a part of it?
Are you selling the same thing as the same business or as different businesses?
Different businesses.
Then, yeah, you should sell to different people.
I guess the question is, how reflective of me is that brand versus how reflective of that product is that brand?
I'd say it probably depends what the product is, and then the way you're selling it, and then the people who are actually going to buy it from you.
So it's a mix that you have that you help people figure out.
Yeah, and like so yours could look different than Bob's.
Right.
And like the way he sells is going to be different from the way you sell, and I bet people will buy from him and not want to buy from
No,
you.
that
and
is
then,
not true at all.
That's not true?
No,
Well, then I was going to say,
I would
and
sell
vice
80%
versa.
more product than Bob.
Well, then people are definitely going to buy from you and maybe buy from him.
I know. I was just joking. So how nerve-wracking is that for you, though, that when somebody signs off on your brand design that it might not work? I mean, that's got to be...
It is so scary.
I was going to say it's so scary. So, okay, with that in mind, is there a review process? Let's say you do
Yes.
mine and I'm doing okay, or it doesn't matter. Do you come back in a year or 2 years and say, okay, let's refresh this and take a peek at what we're doing?
I like to pop back in every now and again,
Uh-huh.
especially if we aren't doing like continuous work. Some of my clients, we work on a month-to-month basis after the fact, and we're able to kind of evolve as we go. And a brand is meant to evolve, and so is your brand strategy and the way you're doing everything.
Kirsten, how do people get a hold of you? It was ironic because I looked through your website and there's a lot of Ray designs out there in the country and the world.
Yes.
So how would people get a hold of you?
Through my website, I know there's a lot, but it's like bright green, dark purples, and a white color.
Yeah. Well, I just went through Ray Design Quincy and I was able to find you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working on my SEO and adding keywords like
Right.
that
Yeah.
in.
So okay.
But yeah, through my website, I have contact forms. You can follow me on Instagram
Right.
or Threads. I really like Threads at I'm Ray Design.
And Ray spelled R-A-E.
Yes, it is. Or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. My business page is there as well. Ray Design. I don't know if I have the LLC on there on LinkedIn, but you can find me any of those places. I'm always in the DMs replying to people, so
And you'll talk to anybody.
I'll talk to anyone.
You're
within
talking to me.
reason.
God knows you'll talk to anybody.
I know.
All right. Kirsten Protzman with Ray Design. This has been the Business Spotlight, brought to you by Mercantile Bank.
Your financial needs aren't independent of each other, so your financial advisors shouldn't be either. At Mercantile Bank, our experienced United Wealth professionals are united to serve you and your complete financial planning and wealth management needs. Are you just starting your investment journey or need to roll over a retirement plan? Do you need to plan for a loved one with special needs or for your own life after work? Maybe your business needs a succession plan or you want to enhance your employee benefit programs. Whatever steps you need to take, our United Wealth experts are ready to take them with you. Together, we are united.